You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the September 12th, 2023 meeting of the LaPorte County Drainage Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We really need to talk to the county commissioners about having all the railroads closed in South Wantagh at one time.
Boo hoo hoo.
Wow.
You need a helicopter.
What's that number for Federal Rail?
Something like that. All right, so we'll continue on here with roll call.
Joe Cuson.
Here.
Hugh Glasgow.
Here.
Tony Hendricks.
Here.
Connie Graham-Rosa.
Here.
Jeff Mitzner.
Here.
Pat Vance is absent. Brad Adamski.
Here.
Ask for a motion for approval of minutes from last month's meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 2 on the agenda, Galena Meadow subdivision draining easement maintenance bids.
Got him.
Got them right here.
Oh man, I just read my Luker.
All right, first bid is from Beaver Excavating, 10,300. So this one is from Alsop Construction, 2,500. This was just, what was this for?
That was for like mowing that easement.
Mowing the easement, right?
Yeah, there's a set of specs right there.
Okay, I got it. Got that one.
No, don't have it. There is all.
The last one is from Spear Grade Excavation for 850. Now I'm gonna ask this,
$850.
why are we got such a range between the 3 bids?
I don't know.
Al also did the last 3, right? 3 times we cleaned. Not this one, but in that subdivision. So he's very aware of it. The other people,
Yeah, Al cleaned last time. Beaver cleaned
Oh, Beaver.
before that. Al cleaned before Beaver. So you guys have both been out there.
so the new people,
Is it Hawkins? Is that the name?
Superior Grade Excavation out of North Judson.
Okay. He's new on our list. That's the first bid he's ever submitted to us. So, everybody got the same thing.
And they're all bidding for the same thing.
Yeah, there's that set of specs right there is what I sent out.
I'm sorry, did you say $850 for Superior?
Yeah, Superior was $850, 2,500 and
10,000.
10,300. And Superior has the scope of work on their estimate.
Specs only call for a mowing, not a digging, so that might be where there's confusion.
Well, Alsup has mow drainage easement, and Beaver has scope of work as per bid request sheet.
Is Superior bonded with us?
They give you a copy of it,
Is
right?
there a copy
A
of,
copy of certificate of insurance right here.
I don't know.
Yeah, that seems so low, but I don't know how you'd not take it.
Well, he's got the scope of work written out on here.
Well, I move we try him. Superior.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Superior will have the bid then. Number 3, Wade Ditch, Jerry Eddy with the pole barn.
Yes, sir. Jerry Eddy, 9326 South State Road 39.
Have you got, did you get anything from BZA on this?
Yes. Let me, I made a copy. May I approach?
Yep.
Cheers.
You have a favorable from BZA, right? Yep.
Is that what he brought up?
Tony, can you pull that up, please?
I could try. South of town. How far south? Keep going.
It looks like the board did grant the variance conditional on a rain gutter being installed to direct water to the drainage ditch rather than to the neighboring yard or property. But otherwise, they granted his request.
Am I correct in assuming that if you had gotten a permit, they would have caught it before the pole barn was constructed? That it was on the easement?
They should have.
They should
Right.
have.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is one of those situations in zoning terminology, we always talk about it. It's better to ask for permission than beg forgiveness. So he's going about the process a little backwards. He constructed it, but he did get his variance granted by the county. So now it's up to the board. He has built within your easement. So, I mean, there's always a risk when that's done if it affects the ability to go in and maintain or clear a ditch. It's not unprecedented that there's construction on your easements, but they have to get permission. Plus, usually there's statements that if the property needs to be removed, that there's a hold harmless, or if there's any damage done to the property due to maintenance work, that there's a hold harmless.
Well, in this case, the owner on the other side of the ditch, Dick Welsh, hasn't got any problem with cleaning it on his side. It's the no-brainer side to clean toward the west anyway, because the bank's lower. Then where Mr. Eddy constructed is on filled dirt and it's pretty high. It was filled in like 30, 40 years ago.
Blow that up.
Oh, here.
I just don't see any houses going in on the other side. In this case, I think it's okay to grant a variance or exception to our easement.
Any thoughts from the surveyor's office on the condition on the variance, the gutter draining into the drainage ditch? I can't imagine that has that big of an impact.
No.
So I got the map pulled up here. Can you come up here?
Yes, sir.
Or is it that you're building that?
Just in the back corner of the house here.
That's all right. let that go away. Come on, there you go. So like where that white thing's at, where are you gonna be at there?
Okay, that's the neighbor's property at the white factory.
Sure.
The white property is just 5 foot, against their property, and then, about 8 foot or so away from the ditch. The bank of the ditch, not the middle of the ditch. And,
You're how far off the bank of the ditch?
8 or 10 feet.
yeah, right, even better. But yeah, this here,
And you're only 5 foot off the property line?
yes. Yeah.
And they're giving you a building permit for that?
I know, we went through this. Believe me, this wasn't easy.
Wow.
Yeah, and the neighbors, you know, all agreed and so forth, and reluctantly, I'm one neighbor, but she agreed.
Okay, so where's he gonna be at is about right here, in this area right here.
These bids?
So some of those trees that's in this picture here, you've already removed the trees off the easement, or is there?
No, everything's still there, and everything is,
Oh, yeah, that.
you know, all the root systems there, and all the trees are there, I'm not disrupting anything.
Are there trees on the other side of the ditch?
Yes, oh yeah. Both past the ditch, on the highway, past my property.
Thought that ditch was cleaned like 4 or 5 years ago.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But, there is some dead wood in there which I drag out as the storms come by and try to keep that cleaned up.
Can you refer to the mic?
Can you go back to the mic? It says outside on the easement too.
Here's some pictures you want to look at. Chris?
Thank you.
Oh, Jerry got you.
Whoa, look at this picture, it's damn close. Is your house on the easement also?
The easement's 75 foot, and yes, it swallows every bit of my house, my garage, my drain field, everything is within that 75 feet between the road and the ditch. And of course, the neighbors has also built up against that ditch closer than I am, and they've got cement floors in their buildings.
Well, it looks like with everything that's on the easement, if you wanted to clean the ditch, it'd have to be from the other side. Everything that's already.
That's what I'm saying, that the other side would be a no-brainer to clean the ditch from.
I see what you're saying, but the problem is we're setting a precedence then.
Right.
I have a question for the attorney. Once the BZA approves it, can we deny it?
Yes, your easement is independent of the BZA, but the BZA did is granted him a variance to build beyond the setback.
But for the record, this is built, right? It's already
Yeah,
there.
well, yeah, it's 90%.
So if we deny it, you have to tear it down.
The neighbors have anything on easements?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody does.
Yeah, everybody all down that ditch.
Yeah, if you look at the aerial, I mean, 75 feet from the ditch, like you said, that covers your whole house probably. The
Well, it
neighbors
does.
at least have a shed, maybe a garage.
A couple of big buildings there, yeah.
Well, that whole area would just be a swamp and a wetland if it hadn't been filled in the early 1970s. And I'm telling you, there was a lot of dirt hauled in there.
My understanding that used to be a dump site, you know, a landfill type thing, and then dirt was brought in over it.
The dump site was more to your south, but the dirt came from the dump site.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Go to Commissioner Hill House, to clean your district.
Yes, oh yeah. Yeah, 3 or 4 of them, I think 4 possibly.
We have put on there that that's gonna come down for ditch maintenance, it's gotta come down because seeds.
Yeah, there's no money to clean.
There's no.
There's no money for them.
If you ever need to clean.
And Dick Welsh said that he could clean from his side. Did you get anything in writing from him at all?
No, but I certainly could, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I did get permission from Dick
You
Welsh.
gave me
Yes.
something from Dick.
Yeah, yeah, certainly.
I think something from Dick was in that packet.
And they would have been
Would you
party.
guys entertain like if we grant this, then he would have to clean the ditch. He would have to accept the responsibility of cleaning the ditch.
There's something here from Dick Welsh, but it just says that requesting to build on my side of the ditch that runs between my property and owned by Dick Welsh.
There isn't a current assessment on that, so there isn't any funding right now. But yeah, that was a suggestion, if you let him leave the building there, that he would be responsible for any ditch maintenance.
Yeah, I would
That's
agree
up
to
you
that.
guys.
Sure.
Like I said, we don't have current funding, so we don't have any plans anytime soon, but
But here's the problem. Dick's gonna agree to this, and he's gonna end up footing the bill for the whole thing, tearing the trees out and everything on his side, cleaning the ditch, taking all the spoils for the rest of the time here. And if I'm Dick Welsh, I'm not gonna agree to that because I don't want all the spoils and have to take care of everything. And I guess my question is, if Dick Welsh comes to you and asks for $5,000 to clean this ditch along your area, are you gonna pay it?
We'd have to cross that bridge when we come to it, but,
Well, that's gonna be
You know.
contingent whether we give you this or not. I'm telling you that right now.
well, if that's what has to happen, because how often does a ditch get cleaned anyway? I've been there 20+ years. I don't remember it being cleaned out.
And the bad part about it is after you leave, then we got to deal with the next person that owns it. So it's going to have to
Yeah.
be in the.
How long is this ditch?
Oh, it starts up there.
You have a choice on
800, don't it?
Unaccepted.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, it's very little trickle water until it hits the ponds, and those ponds then fill it and move
Be
it.
responsible for ditch maintenance.
And the preceding people owning it.
Yeah. Follow the line.
Well,
I was going to pick up on it.
I know it's bad to grant an easement or take away our easement, but every case is different. And this is just a no-brainer that it would be cleaned always from the other side. I mean, you got 5 acres of lots on one side next to the highway, and then you got 280 acres of black dirt on the other side of the ditch. Which way who's gonna want it cleaned?
If Brad's okay, I think you grant him the encroachment on the easement with a hold harmless and a maintenance agreement for perpetuity.
That would run with the land.
It'll go with the next owner.
Yeah, it would need to be recorded.
Yeah. And I'd like to add to that, to what Tony said. If we got to come in there and that building's got to come down, it's got to come down. If we run into a situation, not saying that's going to happen, but you need to be aware of that.
Yeah, I think Hugh's probably right. Any maintenance work's going to come from the other side, but if there are trees or something that needs to be removed on his side of the ditch, it's certainly possible.
I'm capable of doing so.
Well, not a matter of capable of doing so. It's just, since you're on the easement, if there's damage that happens to your building when those trees are removed, we need a hold harmless from the county.
Oh, of course.
From their agents when they do that work.
Yeah, you're not vacating the easement, you're just allowing him to encroach upon it.
There's a difference.
He's looking for a motion.
Are you guys okay with that? I'll make a motion to accept it. The way that Brad. You want to repeat that so then
Yeah.
I can.
Motion to accept encroachment on the easement, subject to a hold harmless agreement and a maintenance agreement that'll run with the land.
So that's the motion I'm making.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Is there any way to catch this in the future?
Well, we need to
We
get.
have two eyes.
we need to get with the building commissioner, and we need to make sure that he is on board with us of what's going on here.
He's the one that brought it up for.
He's the one that caught it.
Well, I understand that.
One of his
He would've-
inspectors were driving down the road and they were building without a permit.
And they're involved with the plan commission and the BZA.
Okay.
So I mean, Poland knows what's going on.
But we wouldn't have went through this as quite as much as if he wouldn't already started building the building. And
Right, and he was doing construction on his own property, so he wasn't going through permitting and, right.
Correct.
so they went through and they red tagged him then when he was building.
Yes.
So then, would you guys like to table this and then talk to,
Oh, I think the vote already
Okay.
passed, yeah.
Thank you.
well, no, because I only heard two.
All right,
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
moving along. Christie, do you
Thank
want
you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we'll need to get you the hold harmless forms and all that stuff. You have to fill it out and record it.
Okay, how do I go about that? Or do
Will
I?
you write your email down and
Yeah,
I'll send it to you, or else,
then I would suggest if you ever sell your property, you tell the person that's buying it that they have to take care of this because it's going to go with the property.
Yeah.
We'll make sure the agreement's recorded, so any title search should pick it up. But, yeah.
yeah, they have to be recorded. The encroachments.
When I bought it, I don't think that this ever came up, 20 years ago.
We will bring up about that Eckert now, or you want to wait till after? You want to talk about that?
We can do it whenever you want.
Okay.
Thank you.
Before you come up, we got something else on that we need to add to the agenda. So on the Eckert ditch down by me, 850 west, the railroad came in there to tear out an old bridge, and Vern Schaefer happened to be driving through his property and caught him and called me, and I called Christie right away, and they were going to put in 2 6-foot culverts. When upstream there is a 7-foot and an 8-foot by 12 ellipticals. So of course they're saying this is an emergency deal to get done. Christie was in contact with the railroad. I was in contact with the railroad after several discussions. Christie red tagged them and shut them down from doing what they were doing. And then the next week we got with them because they had an 8-foot culvert there and they wanted to put the 2 6s in next to it. And Tony ran the numbers, Christie ran the numbers. And we came up with that they needed 3 8-footers, and they ended up tearing the bridge out, and we have 3 8-foot by 40-foot round tubes put in that ditch. So I just wanted to.
Which railroad is it?
NIS. That's the one that runs to Malden.
The Norfolk Southern?
No, it's not the Norfolk Southern. It's CS.
Oh, yeah, the Florida one.
Atlantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
It runs from Union Mills to Malden, the co-alliance. It's like the Atlantic, Florida.
Well, it got bought out. It got bought out, and these guys are doing a bunch of improvements on it. I got to give them credit for doing the improvements that they're doing. They're spending a lot of money, but the problem is, and I told the guy that the president of the company, I said, from now on, if you're in LaPorte County, you're going to do anything on any ditches, you better make sure you contact us, and so that we're on the same page. Because if you'd have put in those 2 6-footers, and they would already if Vern Schaefer never went past there, and they would have had this done, that would have been a bad deal because there's a lot of water. Because the guy didn't believe me that the water will run underneath will touch the top of the railroad when it gets up there. So, thank Christie and Tony for getting that stuff done in a hurry, and so.
And they have 3 8-foot culverts on the next upstream crossing too. Northeast of this one.
Those are 6s.
Those are sixes.
Those are sixes, because that ditch is smaller, but that doesn't
Right.
carry as much water, but there is.
They did.
But they never did that. That was done 10, 15 years ago by the other company.
Well, it's the same thing. They were replacing a bridge that was going
Yes.
to collapse.
Yes, same thing. So anybody got any questions on that?
No, thanks for catching that. I mean, I got the emails, but I didn't understand it all until now.
Well, and I didn't call anybody, because I didn't think that we needed, everybody was getting emails. I figured I was giving you enlightenment, but at that time, there wasn't really anything to take care of, but make sure they were getting in the right sizes.
Gulf Atlantic is the name of the railroad. I just found it.
Okay. So, I guess let the record show that got taken care of. All right, so we'll move on. Anything else for? Okay, so we'll move on to Hudson Lake.
Judge Joyce, Secretary, East Hudson Road, Carlisle. So that, hello? Is it working?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's not here.
Because I was getting an echo and then it went away. So the water level is still quite low. It's only at 4.92 inches above the weir. I love our gauge so we could check it all the time. But sad for the drought. And DNR finally sent a drain agreement. It's under review. We haven't had a chance to deep dive into it yet. We got it over the holidays. Thank you, Christine, for sharing the Riverwatch training. That's good to know. And October 5th is our public meeting for the Hudson Lake Conservation Association. It's going to be at Monroe's at 6 p.m. It's a Thursday night. And then our new website got launched, yay. And we have a photo contest going on for favorite memory photos, and it will close on September 30th. And that's it.
You had
Add in those 5 points.
you guys received your grant. Is there any time frame?
So the grant, you mean for the dredging?
Dredging.
So we did get the grant for the public ramp, but we also need a grant for the southern channel. And because it's too expensive to do them separately, so we're waiting for the new grant to come in January. Hopefully we would apply for it and they award it by March, and then we would do both. And then it's finding the money because there's a lot of money to match.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions? Brad, you got anything?
Just a really quick update on the litigation where the board's not really involved in it, but Christine's being called as a potential witness on it. That hearing got continued due to the court's calendar, so it's kicked down the road for quite a bit. Other than that, no attorney report. And I'm monitoring that. I'll go to the hearing with Christine, and I've met with the party's counsel when he's met with her. That's going to call her as a witness.
Okay. Any questions for Brad? Tony?
All I have is really a joint report that KRBC, Kankakee River Yellow River Basin Commission is going to have technical advisory meeting on September 29th at Stark County Commissioners Chambers, I believe, or the Stark County meeting area down there.
Joint Boyd reports. Guess that's me. I got a meeting Thursday, so I'll report back if there's anything on that. Claims.
I have one claim from Carl Netzer for the removal of that tree that was across the Little Kankakee River. For the amount is $1,000, and I have money in that fund to cover that.
Need a motion?
I move we pay it.
Second.
All in favor? Number 6, any public comment?
Okay, I do have one
Oh, sorry.
thing to piggyback off the claim. So I got a request from Carl Netzer to do another tree removal on the Little Kankakee going north from 350 South. So where we just took this tree out on 350 South, and we did a clear cut going south from there just this spring, and now he wants to put in a request to go north from there for a half a mile. Petition for taking the trees and brush off the river on both sides for approximately half a mile north of the bridge at 350 South. That's the little Kankakee.
So we need a motion to be able to accept the bids on that.
Yeah, if you're agreeable to that request, I can put that out for bid.
Motion to agree.
Who put in the request?
Nutzer. Carl Nutzer.
Is he a property owner there?
He's the farmer, I believe.
Okay,
On the,
My question is, how are they petitioning to do the work and doing the work?
No, we're not petitioning. They're petitioning to do it, but no, they're not. They're not getting the bid.
To the podium.
We're gonna put it out for bid.
it's going out for bid.
Getting the bid, that's a conflict of interest.
What? No, it's not, because it's gonna be a sealed bid.
Come up to
I'll come up to podium. It's gonna be out, it's gonna go out for a sealed bid, and then next meeting we'll open the bids. So,
They're lining themselves to work, doing it.
not if you beat them with the bid.
yeah, but he's still a farmer in that area. He's got a right to put a request in, even if he is a contractor.
They should be able to do the work too, as that way.
There's no guarantee that they're going to be able to do the work. All this is a request to put it out for bid. And they have standing to request to put it out for bid. The board has a decision to decide whether to put it out for bid. And then at the time of awarding the bid, that's something the board can consider. But obviously it's a sealed bidding. So they're two separate things. Right now you're just talking about putting it out for bid.
Does that answer your question? Hey, it's going out for bid. Bid it, and whoever's got the lowest bid's gonna get it. Any other public comment?
Well, I won't say whoever's gonna get the lowest bid will get it. It might depend on the contract of the day or how much else he's got going on.
And I think for point of order, we had a motion to put it out for bid. I don't know if it was seconded.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Now we'll move on to public comment. And if there's no public comment, we'll adjourn. Next meeting, September 12th, 8:30 in this room.
October 10th.
Oh, I'm reading the wrong date. Yeah, today's like September 12th, October 10th.
What about the Parker claims? The state chemist.
The state chemist.
Yeah,
I haven't heard back on that at all yet.
okay.
We've adjourned, correct?
I hear something, I'll let you know.
Adjourn. Yep, we're adjourned.